Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the CBS News Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. It's nice to have you here. Nice to have you with us today as we get you up to date on the weather forecast. There were some little flurries kind of just floating around in the sky. Nothing sticking, nothing major. And now it's going to be cold. Yeah, the average high for this time of year should be close to 40. And so today we'll barely cross 20. Not great. It's going to be a cold night ahead as well. And we're going to, Friday morning, you'll wake up, it'll be about 0. Right. Yeah. Welcome to March. Meteorological spring. Oh, yeah. Tuesday, we've got 50 in the forecast, but that's 7 days out. Do you think I believe that? Do you? Do you believe? You do not. But we'll keep an eye on it as we get a little closer. Let's talk about this new this morning. First on WCCO, a new push for you to be able to buy beer and wine in Minnesota grocery stores and convenience stores, gas stations. Coalition of groups coming together, including the Chamber of Commerce, starting up a push to change the liquor laws of Minnesota. And you know how slow that has been. We've talked about this before. They've tried before and failed. But they're starting with this as the entree point. They want to get rid of that 3-2 beer that's only produced for Minnesota. So the group is calling themselves Red, White, and Brew. They shared some polling that said 64% of Minnesotans want full-strength beer and wine at grocery and convenience stores. Now, there are heavy hitters opposed to this. Obviously, if you are an existing liquor store, you're not into this. A lot of cities run their own municipal liquor stores, so that's a factor too. But we're asking you today, is this an issue you care about? Should Minnesota allow full-strength beer and wine at the grocery and gas store? You see this in lots of states, but you don't see it here. You know, obviously like Cub and Target and Lund's and Byerly's and all of those stores have liquor stores, but they're like a separate entrance. It's not as convenient. Yeah, so what do you think about this? Let us know in the comments, and we'll share your feedback coming up. Some breaking news that we've been watching in the early morning hours from South Minneapolis. This beautiful 100-year-old church caught fire right around 4 this morning. We were there as crews quickly got it under control. But you know, I mean, with a historic building like this, you wonder about what's in there. All the smoke and water damage, all of the windows that had to be broken to kind of vent that smoke as you see it pouring out. And what happened here? Was it started by someone? Was it an electrical system that went wrong? Lots of questions this morning, but our hearts go out to this church community in South Minneapolis, the Church of the Incarnation. Investigators will be working on what caused that fire today. Also today, the strike continuing. Minneapolis public school teachers and educational support professionals taking their messages to the streets. Lots going on in the teacher strike, but not so much as far as getting closer to a resolution. So you've heard their demands: higher pay, more mental health support. They will be on the picket line this morning starting at 7:30. But this afternoon, they're taking their message to the state capitol. Teachers say they want lawmakers to use some of the state's $9 billion surplus, in their words, to fully fund education for Minnesota students. We're sure you're feeling the squeeze on your family budget these days. Gasoline prices this morning were at about $4, right? Every morning over the last week, it's gone up a bit and a bit more and a little bit more, and we went up about 5 cents overnight. Here it is, $3.99.9, knocking on the door of $4 a gallon for regular unleaded. This video from our photojournalist Ben Harper over at the Speedway in Golden Valley, the convenience stores of Speedway. We see $3.99 everywhere. Yeah, AAA says prices here in the Twin Cities have gone up 42 cents in the last week. So it's a little bit of sticker shock, right? Obviously, we know that global events in Ukraine are part of this. Here are the averages. National average, 4.25. Minnesota, 3.92. Twin Cities, a little higher, $394. This morning, state investigators need help. Maybe you can help out. They're looking for a vehicle that was involved in the shooting death of Trinity Addison Smith last year. Take a close look at these pictures. It's a maroon 2014 Ford Fusion. BCA looking for this car. It's got Minnesota plates 720XRP. But, realistically, investigators say those plates were probably removed. They say it's possible the car is painted a different color. So this is a tough one, right? They're really searching far and wide. They believe Dupree Sharif Robinson bought the car 3 days before the shooting. In May last year, he was just arrested last month and charged with murder. New data, as daily life gets more expensive, a lot more of us are having a harder time making ends meet. Sort of a surprising percentage of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 61% is the number from December of 2021. But you just go 1 month forward, January of 2022. Now it's 64%. And even among those earning six figures, you think the more money you have, the more safety net you'd have. Not the case. 48% of those six-figure earners say they are living check to check. Yeah, tough. All right, credit card fees. This is kind of a hidden cost of business where if you run a store, that you pay the 2.9% or whatever to use Visa, MasterCard. Those companies are raising their fees on large merchants. Large merchants often get a discounted fee because there's so much volume, but that fee going up, according to the Wall Street Journal. We'll see how much of that gets, will you ever know? No, but some of that fee certainly gets passed along to you. Kind of a unique story about a construction project going on along 35W in South Minneapolis. We've been watching as they rebuilt the highway out there, right? And they put in this cool, rapid transit bus lane, big bus station in the middle of 35W. But what in the heck is this? Good question. Tackled this one last night. It's a flood mitigation project. It's a stormwater storage sewer, basically. MnDOT tells us it's to prevent this sort of mess. We've seen this time and time again. Heavy rain just overwhelms the drainage system that's below the highway. So they're building this. Kind of cool, right? Huge stormwater storage tanks. The water will drain into that when the new project is complete. And they say it should be ready in about a year. The good news is those 6 tanks hold a lot of water. It's the same as 7 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So when they finish the tanks, it'll start doing some work, maybe by this fall. So check out more at WCCO.com/good question. It is tourney time again in St. Paul. We're kind of in the middle of all these state tournaments, and boys state hockey taking center ice at the X today. First up in the morning session, Class A quarterfinals, Monticello Moose against War Road. Then it's Mankato East Loyola against Mahtomedi. Tonight, Hermantown, they're the #1 seed against New Prague. And then it's the combination Minneapolis Public Schools taking on Alexandria. First time since '94, a Minneapolis public school is in the state hockey tournament. Class 2A action begins tomorrow. So much fun for all of these schools. I know Maple Grove High School, which is where my kids go. And you may know I'm also the speech team coach for Maple Grove High School. Our hockey team, the boys hockey team, is in the tournament. They're playing on Thursday. Tough decisions for some of the kids because it is also the final week of the trimester. So there are finals going on. And so, teachers move stuff around so kids could hop on a bus and go cheer for their classmates. Kind of a lot of my speech team kids were debating, do we go? Do we not go? I'm like, what are you going to remember 10 years from now? You'll remember going to the X, not the test or the class you skipped. But they're like I was. They're nerds. I was a nerd. Would I have skipped it? I don't know. It would have been a tough choice. Let's talk about grocery stores and convenience stores. Do you want full strength beer and wine? Trisha, it would be nice to have both available, but I'm sure the price would be much higher than a regular liquor store. I don't know. I mean, grocery stores often have the buying power. It's an interesting question. I don't know how the price scenario will work out. Thanks, Trisha. Bradley says, not that I regularly drink alcohol, but I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be available in grocery and gas stores. If somebody wants the full strength, they're going to find it anyway. It is sort of a farce, right? The 3-2 bit. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, have to admit it. I love my local wine shops and liquor stores, so I hate to put those people out of business. But they've been preparing for this anyway, and you're going to get much different selection. But if you want some of the classics, if you want Yellowtail, if you want very widely available popular wines, for example, I guess I don't see why they shouldn't. Well, we'll see how the debate plays out. Thanks, Bradley. Here's Hannah. I honestly don't see the need, but it's odd that this is Hannah. Hannah is sort of reflecting my view on this. I don't see, is it really that big of a deal to walk next door, go to the separate entrance? But it is odd. There's also no compelling reason why it is the way it is. So I guess, sure. Yep, this is why I can't run for office, because that would be my position. Thanks, Hannah. Here is Annette. No, everyone who wants to drink can go into a liquor store, why they always do. Why make it easier for alcoholics or people who are trying to stop drinking? I think we should leave well enough alone. Yeah, I think the municipal liquor stores are going to be the big issue on this one, where if you are Edina or Wayzata or some of the many cities around the state that have municipalities running their own liquor stores, which you can ask questions about whether that makes any sense, but they use that to raise money instead of charging it through taxes, and they're going to lobby against this for sure. We'll be watching it, and we'll be sharing with you whatever we find out. That's what we do here on the Morning Update from CBS News Minnesota, your only local 24-hour streaming news service. We do it because we love you. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.